Let's jump right into today's video, because we're looking at a concept that literally affects every single one of us. We're examining research that outlines the systematic commodification of our biological data by global tech companies and defense contractors. It's a complex framework called biometric sovereignty, and the main argument here is wild. The exact things that make you physically unique are quietly being turned into the foundation for a brand new type of digital enclosure.
I want you to really think about this core question posed by the text. Who really owns your face? Most of us just naturally assume that our immutable biological markers belong entirely to us, right? I mean, your fingerprints, the unique geometric patterns of your irises, those subconscious micro-expressions when you feel an emotion, we treat these as the absolute core of our individual sovereignty. But according to the research we're analyzing today, the second you step into the database clusters of the modern world, that biology is no longer your exclusive property. Instead, it becomes a heavily traded asset.
Which brings us to Section 1, the Biometric Trap.
The source material argues that the modern conveniences we use literally every single day are actually a brilliantly engineered psychological trap. We're constantly told that biometric scanning is this technological miracle, a totally frictionless way to interact with the world. Unlocking your phone with a quick glance, breezing through airport customs, securing your digital assets with a thumbprint, they're undeniably incredible conveniences. But the authors suggest we need to realize this convenience is just the bait. It's designed to lead us voluntarily into a massive, centralized tracking grid by masking the sheer volume of data being extracted from us in real time. And that leads us to a foundational definition in the text, cognitive enclosure. The researchers define this as mapping the literal structure of human biology to build a centralized tracking grid. For the last 20 years, the internet was all about behavioral tracking, harvesting clicks, search history, likes. But cognitive enclosure represents a major shift. Global monopolies are no longer just harvesting what you type, they are harvesting the physical you. They're moving away from easily spoofed digital breadcrumbs and capturing the ultimate choke point of your personal data, the biological structure of your body.
Let's move to Section 2, the metadata corridor.
To fully grasp this, the source takes us past the physical hardware on your phone and deep into the central clearinghouses where your data is actually indexed. See, every time your face is scanned, it's never stored as a simple, flat photograph. It's actively translated into a complex structural code known as a biometric vector. This is a proprietary mathematical string that simultaneously tracks hundreds of localized focal points on your face. It records the exact microscopic distance between your eyes, maps the precise curvature of your jawline, and in some advanced arrays, even logs your skin's thermal output. It turns the organic reality of your face into a highly specific, machine-readable equation.
According to the source, an invisible corporate web operates behind the scenes in a rapid three-step workflow. Step 1, your face is scanned. Step 2, your biometric vector is mapped and translated into that mathematical string. And Step 3, the wider network is triggered. Scanning your face to open a commercial app doesn't happen in a vacuum. It instantly cross-references your structural code with public surveillance feeds, municipal registries, and financial databases, all in the blink of an eye, completely invisible to the end user.
Under this framework, you literally become a fully indexed biological node. The source argues that true anonymity is effectively dead the second your physical presence triggers this automated harvesting. Private entities have quietly built these cross-platform networks that consolidate individual vectors, creating a system capable of tracking your unique mathematical signature seamlessly across both the digital and physical worlds. Walking into a store, logging into a workstation, or just strolling down a smart city block, these all become logged events tied back to your exact biological anchor.
All right, Section 3, predicting human emotion.
So the grid isn't just trying to figure out who you are. The text outlines how the next generation of AI arrays is actually designed to predict what you feel through a behavioral forensics array. Just look at the data points they're analyzing. Micro-anxiety detected, passive desire captured, subconscious stress logged. By analyzing rapid and voluntary microexpressions and real-time iris dilation, these advanced forensic algorithms map human emotion at a massive scale. The data suggests these systems can pinpoint exactly when a news headline triggers your anxiety or an image spikes your subconscious stress, all before you even consciously register the emotion yourself. The text then explains that platforms use that biological data for something called dynamic content restructuring.
This biometric feedback loop alters your digital environment in real time based on your physical reactions. If the network detects high cognitive fatigue in your eyes, it immediately restructures your content funnel to maximize what researchers call compliance. In this context, compliance means keeping you scrolling, nudging you toward a purchase, or subtly shaping your engagement with a political viewpoint. Your environment literally shifts and molds itself based entirely on how your biology reacts to the screen.
To summarize the core argument here, private syndicates are systematically reverse engineering human biology for macroeconomic leverage. Instead of relying on demographic surveys, they are turning your deepest subconscious emotional states into programmatic inputs. Your raw, unfiltered feelings are treated as just another data set to be parsed, modeled, and ultimately manipulated to achieve highly specific commercial or behavioral outcomes.
Moving on to Section 4. The compliance lock.
The research draws a really sharp contrast between the outdated physical systems we're used to and the impending architecture of the future. The old grid was built on passwords, physical documents, and manual verification. Sure, it was flawed, but the source notes you still had some fundamental control. You held the password in your head, you carried the ID card, and you could simply choose not to present it. But the new grid, it's built on automated smart border initiatives where biological telemetry, like iris scans and facial mapping, is absolutely mandatory. The option to manually verify is entirely removed.
So, the natural question the authors ask is, what happens if you refuse the scan? Well, under the proposed biometric framework, you're silently and efficiently pushed out of the modern grid. Refusing biometric surrender comes with severe automated consequences. Without biological verification, your digital wallets remain locked, so you can't transact. Your access to automated transport corridors is revoked, meaning you can't travel. Your ability to engage in independent commerce is entirely disabled. You aren't thrown into a physical cell, you're simply and quietly locked out of the operational world.
Under this architecture, the authors argue that the human body becomes nothing more than a temporary permission slip. The system doesn't require traditional physical methods of enforcement anymore. Instead, the entities controlling the database become the ultimate gatekeepers of human movement and agency. They can simply program society's access nodes to reject your physical face with a single line of code. If a behavioral score is flagged by an algorithm, your economic and social life can be temporarily or permanently turned off, all without a human ever intervening.
And this brings us to our final descent, Section 5, the biological cage.
The text posits that we spend entirely too much time tracking traditional database leaks and worrying about simple password strength. Within this framework, that's all just a distraction. The true architecture of modern power relies on capturing human identity directly from our skin and eyes, right at the source. As you can see, sensors are becoming ubiquitous, the network is rapidly expanding its global integration, and the very traits that make you an individual human being are being coded onto a centralized corporate ledger. A ledger over which you have absolutely zero administrative control.
The final cage is not external, it is biological. Take a second and just let that quote from the source material sit with you. The underlying premise of this entire research document is that modern systems of control understand a fundamental truth. To reliably dictate human outcomes, you don't need to build physical walls. You simply must capture and own human identity at its biological root.
Which brings us to the ultimate question we have to leave you with in this video. The authors assert that the lens is always scanning and the algorithms are always refining their models. So, if you do not own the data that physically defines your very existence, are you still a sovereign being? Think deeply about that as you navigate your digital interactions today, because according to this research, the scan is already complete.